Good morning, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. This Torah Parsha is on Vayegash, and wanted to discuss with you today about the going down of the 70. We're going to look at how it appears as if the Torah doesn't know how to count, but really it reveals to us about the promises that God makes to us. So let's jump right into it. Hopefully I'll keep this video under 10 minutes. This is going to be a very analytical type video, so forgive me if it gets rushed through. It'll be on YouTube and we can go back and look at it in more detail. So jumping in, Genesis 46:26 is what we're going to be focusing in on about the going down of the 70, or the 70 that ended up in Egypt. And it starts off at the beginning of this chapter, Genesis 46, about the counting of all of Jacob's children. So we've got a little plot here that shows all of his wives and the children that they had. And starting off with Reuben in this is of chapter 46, verse 9, Reuben. And then verse 10 is Simeon. Verse 11 is Levi. Verse 12 is Issachar. I'm sorry, it's Judah. And verse 13 is Issachar. And it's every single verse it lists another child and all their children, and we're going to do this for all the children here. And you can go through and fact check this and verify everything. That's fine. I encourage you to do so, and we'll just step through all this. And this is going to be for all of Jacob's descendants. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and plot all this out for you instead of reading it straight to you. But we will do the counting, because that's the important thing that we're trying to accomplish here, is to count this and see if the Torah correctly counts what's going on here. So we were told that there was 70 that went down. Well, going through this count, Rachel died in Genesis 35:18, so we know that she would not have gone down there. And so we'll go ahead and mark her off. Died, one of the sons of Judah, and so did Onan. So we'll go ahead and mark them off as well. Those are the verses. You can go and verify that. Joseph, Ephraim, and Manasseh were already in Egypt, so they weren't of the group that went down there. They were of the group that ended up there. That's important to note here in a minute. And so we'll go ahead and take them off this list here. And now diving into some more of the verses. Verse 25, it says, in referring to the children, there were 7 persons in all. And so we'll go ahead and put down that Bilhah had 7 children, and we'll add her as one of those that went down, so +1. In referring to Rachel's children, there were 14 persons in all. We will subtract 3 because we already know that 3 are already down there. And we will not add Rachel, so hence the +0, for she is passed by this point. Leah had 33 persons in all, so we'll go ahead and write 33 above Leah, her name, and we will subtract 2 for the 2 that had died, and we will add 1 for the mother herself. And for Zilpah there was 16 +1, so we're going to add her. Jacob is not included in the count. You can see that it says for all the persons belonging to Jacob. His direct descendants were 66 persons in all. And so we will not include him in the count. So let's go ahead and add up all these numbers. And we get 68. So the mystery begins. So this first part of this verse, 66, we were expecting 68. Let's continue with the verse. And it says, and all the persons of the house of Jacob who came to Egypt. You could also read that as that ended up in Egypt, or 70, because it's including Joseph, Ephraim, and Manasseh. So if we take the 70 that ended up there and subtract the 3 that are already there, we get 67. Well, that adds another problem, because that's not the 68 that the Torah counted. So that's off 1 there, or off a person, and that is off 2 people from the 66 that it said. So we've got some real problems here. We're getting counting errors in 2 different ways. So let's try to figure out the counting errors. Let's count them directly. So in referring to Bilhah's children, there were 7 persons in all. So that's what the Torah counted. It said there was 7. Let's look and see if there's actually 7. And in the red here in the top left of your screen, you can see that indeed there are 7. We can count them. There are 7. In referring to Rachel's children, there were 14 persons in all, and if you count them, there are actually 14 listed. In referring to Leah's children, there were numbered 33 persons in all, and if you count them, you get 32. So we have a discrepancy. And the final child, or wife rather, Zilpah, 16. She bore him 16 persons. We count them, and there are indeed 16. So we are getting this little discrepancy here. So let's go ahead and change our numbers. The Torah said 33, but we counted 32. So let's go ahead and subtract out that one person, because we know what we read. We read it. It's 32. And that means that there was not 68, there was 67 that went down. This still isn't 66. So something's still not right. 66, it says 66 person went down, and it says 70 ended up there. So we still got this one person discrepancy. But now that these 67 numbers are reconciled, we're still not getting that 66 person. What's going on? We know whoever is the missing person belongs to the children of Leah, because that's where we saw the discrepancy. If we look back at this, we counted 32. I'll stop on the screen for just a second. You can see the 32 that are counted here. And it says, in referring to Leah's children, they were numbered 33. So the mystery belongs here. Numbers 26:59. All right, now we're going to try to solve the mystery. Numbers 26:59. And the name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, the daughter of Levi, who was born to Levi in Egypt. And she bare unto Amram Aaron and Moses, and Miriam their sister. So it's still a little bit of a riddle. The book of Yashar makes it a little bit more clear what's going on. And the children of Levi were Gershon, Kathath, Merari. And we had those written down, but we didn't have this name written down. And their sister Jochebed, who was born unto them, and they're going down into Egypt. You see, 66 left Canaan and went to Egypt. 67 showed up. So that reconciles the counting error. Why is this so important? Because Jochebed is the mother of Moses. God began fulfilling his promise to bring Israel out of Egypt the day that they went into Egypt. While Israel was slaves for the many, many years while they were in Egypt, God had already put into place the promise to bring them out. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Shabbat Shalom.